Brace the rudder! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at Polestar.com.
If you went on a road trip and you didn't stop for a Big Mac or drop a crispy fry between the car seats or use your McDonald's bag as a placemat, then that wasn't a road trip. It was just a really long drive. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's.
Abstract. This article explores the major factors that contribute to employee unhappiness and low engagement based on organizational behavior theory and empirical research. It identifies unclear role expectations, lack of autonomy, poor leadership, and unhealthy workplace cultures as key sources of job dissatisfaction. Research shows only 30% of workers worldwide feel engaged in their jobs, indicating widespread unhappiness comes at a cost to both individual well-being and organizational performance. The article outlines specific strategies organizations can implement to address each issue, such as providing detailed job descriptions, setting clear performance goals, empowering employees with control and input, developing effective leadership skills, and fostering a positive values-driven culture. Additional considerations like workload concerns, growth opportunities, recognition programs, and coworker relations are also discussed. By understanding why jobs so often fail to inspire and implementing targeted improvement initiatives, leaders can systematically transform work into a fulfilling experience that maximizes employee potential and engagement. This enhances organizational competitiveness by differentiating companies as employers of choice. Employment should be energizing and fulfilling, providing purpose and motivating individuals to achieve their personal best. However, for many workers today, the opposite is true. Their jobs are draining, stressful, and unfulfilling. Gallup studies have found that only 30% of employees worldwide are engaged and enthusiastic about their work. Gallup 2017. This widespread unhappiness at work comes at a cost to both individual well-being and organizational performance. Today we will explore the major factors that research shows contribute to employee unhappiness and low engagement, drawing from organizational behavior theory and empirical studies. Key sources of misery like unclear expectations, lack of autonomy, poor leadership, and unhealthy workplace cultures will be explored. Practical strategies and examples will then be proposed for how organizations can address these issues to boost productivity, morale, and worker well-being. The goal is to provide organizational leaders with research-backed insights and tools to create happier.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream house or ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Higher performing workplaces. Lack of role clarity. One of the most prominent predictors of unhappiness at work is a lack of clarity around job responsibilities and performance expectations. Hackman and Oldham. 1976. Not understanding what is required for success and how one will be evaluated causes significant stress. Employees struggle to stay on task without clear guidelines and worry constantly about under- or overperforming without transparent goals. Morgeson and Humphrey. 2006. Providing job descriptions and goal setting to establish role clarity. Organizations must thoughtfully define each job role through a written job description. Descriptions should outline core responsibilities, required qualifications, reporting structures, and key performance metrics. Regular one-on-one meetings then allow managers to set specific, measurable quarterly and annual goals with their direct reports that align with these role definitions. Lock and Latham. 1990. For example, at Intuit, job descriptions are very detailed and specific goals and OKRs, objectives and key results, are set collaboratively during check-ins to ensure employees understand expectations. This limits ambiguity. Lack of autonomy and control. Another major driver of workplace misery is feeling like one has little control or autonomy in how they do their job. Hackman and Oldham. 1976. Micromanagement, rigid processes, and lack of input into decisions breed helplessness, apathy, and disengagement. Research shows autonomy dramatically improves motivation, performance, and satisfaction. Deci and Ryan, 1985. Empowering employees through responsibility and input to foster autonomy. Managers must decentralize control and empower employees. For instance, at companies like GitHub and Buffer, team members are given significant responsibility and control over their work and the tools, technology they use. Managers focus on coaching versus command and control. Companies also implement practices like self-managing teams where groups have autonomy to structure their own workflows and make operational decisions. Dennison et al. 2004. Additionally, involving staff in strategic planning and new initiative discussions gives them ownership and input, improving buy-in and dedication to outcomes. Toxic leadership. Poor leadership has consistently been cited as a core driver of employee unhappiness across multiple research studies. Kellaway et al. 2012. Schyness and Schilling, 2013. Toxic behaviors like micromanagement, lack of support, abusive treatment, and unfairness undermine motivation and well-being. They also foster distrust and low morale throughout the organization. Developing effective leadership skills to mitigate toxic leadership. Evaluation and development of management competencies must be a priority. Annual 360 reviews provide feedback on a leader's strengths and blind spots. Coaching and training then aims to build skills in areas like effective communication, emotional intelligence, constructive feedback, and developing, inspiring direct reports. Additionally, clearly communicating and enforcing anti-harassment policies with real consequences deters toxic behaviors. For high-performing companies, leadership excellence is also prioritized in hiring practices. At Google, for example, vetting a candidate's people skills is just as important as technical abilities. Unhealthy company culture and organizations' prevailing norms, values, and assumptions, its corporate culture, exert a powerful influence on worker attitudes and performance. Shine. 2010. Dysfunctional cultures characterized by politics, turf wars, lack of trust, and an every person for themselves mentality undermine teamwork and care for colleagues. They promote instability, stress, and disengagement. O'Reilly et al. 1991. Fostering a positive, values-driven culture. Leaders must proactively shape and sustain a culture that inspires the best in its people. This involves clearly articulating a shared set of core values like integrity, collaboration, innovation, and customer obsession. Hiring, Promotions and rewards are then tied to demonstrating these values in action. Rituals and symbols reinforce the culture, and role modeling by leadership is critical for propagation. Healthy subcultures are supported across divisions, functions as well. For example, at SAS Institute, employees universally cite the empowering family-like culture as their top motivation, a key driver of the company's 50-plus year success. Additional considerations: while the above factors represent major contributors to workplace unhappiness, other issues warrant attention as well to design a truly fulfilling work experience. Workload concerns, unreasonable time pressures, significant overtime without compensation, or unclear workload distribution breed resentment and burnout. Maslach et al. 2001. Balancing work-life fit is crucial. Growth and development, minimal training or mentorship opportunities deny staff the chance to learn, progress, and find purpose in their roles. Hackman and Oldham. 1976. Continuous skills development should be supported. Recognition and rewards, when contributions go unacknowledged and hard work isn't appropriately recognized through compensation, incentives, or praise, fulfillment suffers. Grant, 2008. Meaningful recognition programs boost engagement. Coworker and social relations, difficult, unsupportive relationships with peers or interpersonal conflicts prove highly disruptive. Hansen et al. 2018. Empathy and cooperation should be actively cultivated. Conclusion: in today's competitive job market, employee well-being and engagement have become strategic imperatives for achieving competitive advantage. By gaining a deep understanding of why jobs so often fail to satisfy and inspire, leaders can systematically address root causes through focused initiatives. Adapting factors within an organization's control like role design, autonomy support, leadership development, culture shaping, and workload management provides opportunities to transform work into a fulfilling experience that maximizes potential. While not exhaustive, this paper highlights research-backed approaches any organizational leader can apply to assess sources of worker unhappiness and take targeted actions to improve productivity, care for staff, and make their workplace a place people genuinely want to be each day. In doing so, organizations can differentiate themselves through an empowering culture and become employers of choice within their industry.